So, greetings, friends and followers. This is Nurses Talking. I am Del Barzi. And as always, if you like what you see and hear, subscribe. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Here on Nurses Talking, we speak to nurses anywhere in the world and at any stage in their nursing journey, from students to retirees and anywhere in between. And today, it is my great pleasure to welcome Stephanie Thompson. Stephanie is a registered nurse and she is a coach. She's an entrepreneur. Her business name is Coach Renee, LLC. Stephanie has been a registered nurse for over 19 years, and her areas of expertise include neonatal ICU, labor and delivery, education, and coaching. She lives in Cincinnati, and she says she enjoys spending time with her family and loving on her nieces and nephews. So, welcome, Stephanie.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Dale. So happy to be here.
It is my absolute pleasure. So the first thing I always want to know, because sometimes I think that we need to be reminded. So the first thing I always want to know from people is why they're nurses. So why are you a nurse?
I am a nurse. Nursing honestly called me because I wasn't thinking about nursing. I went to college. I was thinking I was going to be a doctor. So I
Mm-hmm.
went with the mindset of, oh, I'm going to major in the science and do pre-med later on, such. But sophomore year, going in my junior year of college, I was on uh a Christian project for college students and ended up interning with a team of gastroenterologists. So I was following them. Ended up with the nurses and I never left. Went back to Tuskegee junior year and changed my major to nursing. And here I am. When I look back over my life, I'm like, okay, I was there when my cousin had her baby. I helped her labor without knowing what I was doing. I always was there when my mom had issues. So I'm like, okay, I was already doing it, but just didn't realize it.
So, it's amazing to me. This is how I feel. I feel that nurses called me. I feel that, it calls a lot of, it's amazing to me still how many nurses say that
Mm-hmm.
nursing actually called them. Um, that's huge to me. And that makes it to me a even bigger a privilege, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely is.
So anyway, once you became a nurse, though, seeing as this was not what you had in mind in the beginning, once you became a nurse, was it what you thought it would be?
No. It honestly it was more than I thought it would
Mhm.
be. So I'm
Yeah,
not saying no in a bad way.
I know.
It was more than what I thought. I don't know. I
Yeah.
thought it was just gonna be a job. And this is not just a job at all. What I got, because I came out and went straight into NICU, I was rebellious. So I didn't do med surge like my instructors told me to do.
Yeah.
But like being with those babies and seeing how strong they are at 25 and 30 weeks of age and with their parents and like how working with the
Mhm.
parents and how they were scared to touch the baby, but by the end they're like pros and I can stand back. I got way much more out of it than
Yeah.
I ever imagined. So it,
Yeah.
it, it wasn't what I was expecting in a good way.
I ask that because I don't think it actually turns out to be what you expect at all. Many
Right.
of us go into it and we go into it thinking that we're going to take care of people. We have no idea that we're going to learn about ourselves and
Yes.
how much of ourselves this taking care of people is going to require.
Yes. Yeah. It will definitely humble you and teach you a few things.
Yep.
It will bring you to your knees.
Yep. Yep. Teaches you humility, teaches you discipline, teaches you all kinds of things.
Yes, patience,
Yeah.
all of that.
Mhm. Yeah. But having said all that, we know that there are challenges. What kinds
Mhm.
of challenges did you encounter?
The challenges, it was a lot, but learning yourself obviously and getting that confidence to take care of your patients, to call the doctors and call the doctor out when they wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that challenge, that tug of war between the nurse doctor, um, then dealing with the patients. You know, I always in the NICU labor and delivery, so there's always multiple patients with me, even though I have that
Mm-hmm.
one little patient. So the challenge of finding my voice
Yeah.
and holding fast to it, regardless of what they say, how they feel, and not being afraid to challenge them too.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
the flip side is you have the challenge that you are now fighting with management, and I can't even say management honestly, but just the culture of the higher ups in healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
That fight,
Mm-hmm.
like, can we be acknowledged outside of just the umbrella during Nurses Week? You know, can I be compensated without having to work more?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
challenge. Then the challenge of me wanting to take over the world in my mind and trying to run and do, oh, this job is not for me, and leaving. And, you know, my resume shows how I left. But that challenge of stop complaining and be a part of the solution to the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I had to learn that and stay put.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in staying put at one particular job, I was actually promoted into assistant management without trying,
Yeah.
applying, you know, that type of stuff. So yeah, a lot of challenges to overcome. And then you got the education. That's a whole nother ballpark. It's so much I want to see changed in the education world, because nursing ain't what it used to be anymore. So and I think that's a huge part of it.
So things like what? Give me one thing you'd like to see change.
I want to be that person. See, I came from Tuskegee University, so they are disciplined and they
Yeah.
don't play.
Yeah.
So that's my mindset. So I want to be that person that was there for me when I changed my major and said, and she said, no, you don't just change your major to nursing. We
Mm-hmm.
have to accept you into this program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's just been made too easy now
Mm-hmm.
for people to get in. And I want to be like, okay, no, 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 I need to filter you out. Why are you here? And I need
Mm-hmm.
to hear more than I just want to help somebody. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
can go to Chick-fil-A and help somebody. Go volunteer at the food bank and help somebody. Why are you here? Because too many people are here um for the money. And I'm like, you know, when you get in here, we really don't make a lot of money. The first thing I would want to change is how are they admitted into the program? Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
people don't care anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You don't care anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we see these nurses in and out.
And you know, that's why I always start with why. Why are you a nurse? Because I think that we all need to be reminded sometimes why we do this. Sometimes we
Mhm.
get so consumed with what we're doing and with our impatience with stuff and all the other stuff that goes on and that we forget why we're doing it. So
Yeah.
sometimes I think we need to be reminded. We talked about the higher ups. In today's healthcare, the higher ups are business people.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
so the decisions that are made from a business perspective.
Yeah.
We come to this from a healthcare perspective. And somehow we have to marry the two.
Right. Right. And I mean, nurses have been now brought into the room to try to help make change, but it's still a lot more
Mhm.
that needs to go into there. So as a business person, I would expect you to know you need to value your employees.
Yeah,
Take us
exactly.
away. What do you have left?
Nothing. Nothing.
Everything goes through the nurse. Everything in that healthcare goes through the nurse.
Yeah.
I need to be valued more. I
Yeah.
need not just a survey, but I need you to take action. Like, what is it? I'm an actions person. I don't like talking about it. You talk about it for 15 minutes. The rest of the meeting needs to be focused on what we gonna do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that
Exactly.
it's not enough for what are we gonna do
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
And that's even if we get a survey, okay? I mean,
Yeah.
y'all be big on patient satisfaction. What about your staff satisfaction?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
hear us a little bit more, cater to us a little bit more, refurbish things around us a little bit more instead of making the room pretty so the patients be comfortable. I get it, but let's focus on us a little bit more. Focus
Yeah.
on us
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's a mess. It's I'm gonna be real. It's a mess right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And as you said that, I think probably we have to step up and take charge of this mess.
Hmm.
No one else can fix it. No one else can fix it for us. We have to fix it. We have to know because we are the ones who know what we do. We are the ones who know what we do costs us. We're the ones whose energy and whose emotions and who have put into this. So, literally our blood, sweat, and tears. We're the ones who know what we want. And
Yeah,
many times I think we don't even know, articulate to ourselves what we want, let
right,
alone to others.
right. Yeah, that is challenging. And a lot of us do need to, instead of complaining, actually sit down and like, okay, why does that bother me so much?
Yes, yes, yes.
Really, really get to the bottom. That's how you go from complaining to now being a part of the solution to the problem. And keep going back to education, but I'm like, it starts there. Like when I
Mhm,
take students to a clinical site, I know what you're going through because I was a bedside nurse. I get it coming in the morning. You need a moment. Trust me, I get it. But dang, can we be nice to these students? Can we be nice to the instructor? Can we say,
mhm.
okay, I got a student. Okay, just give me 5 minutes so I can get my like, oh, I just want you to see
Good.
their face and we'll bring them back. I'm
Mhm,
I'm I'm totally okay with that. Charge nurse. Oh, let me get you. Okay, after you get report, we got 5 students. Just let me know. Well, I'm fine with that. After that, can we bring them into the clinical experience?
Yeah,
So because you're complaining about new nurses coming in, but you're not welcoming them when they're in training. So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what, like how you said, we need to we need to do better ourselves. And that has been a problem since like I was in nursing school. I remember wanting to stay back on the wall because who I was with wasn't that nice. So yeah, a lot of it goes back to have the education piece.
I agree with you. I agree with you that education is huge because I feel that a lot of this angst and this stuff that we project to each other comes from insecurity, and that insecurity comes from a lack of education and a lack of confidence, and a thing of feeling overburdened and all of this kind of thing. And I'm afraid that you, the student, are going to see that I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so,
I've
the
met some of
people.
those nurses and I'm like, no, you're fine. You just show them what you got. That's all.
Yeah, that's it. That healthcare is always evolving. Nursing is always evolving. Medicine is always evolving. Things that are accepted, things that we do, it's always evolving. So if a new nurse tells you, I learned this, then maybe you should try to learn it too, or try to assimilate it. Sometimes it's not always going to work in your particular situation, but
Right.
be open to it.
Right. That's the thing. Be open. There's always something to learn.
There is, and we are fortunate. I think we need to see that we're fortunate to work in an industry where education is an ongoing thing. You're going to learn something, whether you want to or not.
Right. Yes. Whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, what would you say, though, is your greatest achievement so far as a nurse? And I say so far.
So far, my greatest achievement, honestly, I think it's just some of the relationships that I built um
Mm-hmm.
when I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know really what I was doing,
Yeah. Yeah.
but other people saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And they and they acknowledged it, or put me in a
Yeah.
new position or something like that. So like even starting off teaching and then being created a position to coach nursing students, and I'm like, how did that happen? But as president of the college, she said, no, you have a way of building relationships with these students, and they trust you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I think that's probably one of my biggest accomplishments was me just being me, and people feel comfortable enough to be vulnerable around me and trust me. And even if I don't always have to smile when I'm talking to them, they still know it came from a good place. And I'm like, those are the people that cling to me more.
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah,
that
yeah.
that was probably one of the biggest things. She's like, no, let's create this position. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, wow. That had nothing to do with my degrees. So I'm like, wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And sometimes that's what it takes, being open to, again, stepping into something that, someone says, you can do this, and this. I see, more importantly, I see you. I see you. Because sometimes we don't see ourselves.
Right, right. You're right. Yeah, we are our biggest critics.
Oh, I know that. Trust me, I know that. But where would you like to see, given the fact that we just talked about how nursing is evolving and how big it has become, right? Where do you see nurses and nursing in about 10 years or so?
Nursing in 10 years, man. I think it's gonna be more of us running our own show. I have met some headstrong nursepreneurs, boy, and
Hmm.
I think we gonna be like Doctor Who in a minute.
Yep, yep. And I asked
Yeah,
that question because I want us to articulate it. And I really want us to put it out there because I see that we are doing so many things that we need to just be seen and heard.
yeah, it's a lot of people like, oh, you won't? Okay, I will. They got
Yes.
their own med spas and practices, and I'm like, yeah,
Mhm.
it's yeah. They gonna take over on their own.
Yes, yes. And I can't wait for that. I really can't wait for that. I keep telling people that I want to see a nurse be Surgeon General in these United States. I want to see a nurse in that position. And when that happens, y'all look out.
Oh boy, 'cause I'm telling you, these these sisters are doing some big things right now.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, they
they
are.
are.
Yeah.
They are, and I'm so proud of them. I really am. I'm so
Mhm.
proud of them to see you younger people stepping out and doing this and stick to your own. It's high time. Because very often, even now still with the fact, even still with the fact that nurses are becoming more autonomous, you know, um, our customer base, our clientele, the people we serve don't really see us that way yet.
No.
If you tell someone you're a nurse, they see you in a hospital.
Yeah.
And if you dare to say, no, I work from home, how are you a nurse and you work from home? You know,
Mhm. Yeah.
so.
Yeah, they do see us one dimensional.
Mhm.
And sometimes when they see us in the hospital, they still see us lower,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
lower than what we really are. Like
Yeah.
we got to prove ourselves to ourselves.
All the time, all the time, all the time, all the time. But we will get there because I see some nurses doing some things.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah.
man, there's some stuff going on here in Cincinnati, and I'm like, okay, I'm happy.
So you are in education. You see these students before they are thrown into the trenches and whatever. What kind of advice do you give them?
My advice is to give yourself grace. We are imperfect people that have to work in a career, profession that demands perfection.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard. That is very, very hard to live up to. So I always would tell them to give yourself grace, pay attention, and learn from every experience, whether you think is good or bad. Learn from every nurse, whether you
Yeah.
think they're good or bad, so that you can grow and pay attention and, make those mistakes will become less and less and less. But give yourself grace and be patient. Be
Yeah.
patient. No job is perfect. You got to look, and sometimes you got to create your own lane.
Yeah.
Pretty much, you got to
Yeah.
create your own lane, but you got to be dedicated to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, don't be so quick to jump around and do what everyone else is doing. You gotta find your own self and be patient enough to do that.
I know.
I speak from where I came from. I'm like that, jumping around from job to job. No, don't do that. Get all the experience you need first. Then you can
Yeah.
go somewhere else that's going to keep elevating you, keep causing
Yeah.
you to grow.
Yeah.
So that would be my advice.
Yeah. 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 And we need to also, I think, have nurses, young nurses. I think by now seasoned nurses should know this. Young nurses coming in need to appreciate different members of the healthcare team.
Yeah.
And when I say different members of the healthcare team, I'm really talking about maybe ancillary workers, because if those people were not there,
Mm-hmm.
just like you not being there, the whole thing will fall apart. You got to go make the meals then,
Mm-hmm.
and or
Yeah.
so we need to see ourselves, I think, part of a bigger team, not just part of a nursing team, part of a bigger team. We're an integral part of it. Without us, that team can't function, but also without some of the people, it won't function as well either.
Exactly. That's what working in OR taught me more. Well, labor and delivery and OR was being a part of that team, because
Uh-huh.
you
Uh-huh.
got this baby coming. You ain't got a tech to come and help you set that room up. You got to tell mom,
Exactly.
hold your head. Let me do this.
Dude,
You
you
need
got it. Get it done like
everything.
now.
Yes. I tell everybody when I'm in NICU, the respiratory therapist was my best friend. So appreciate, please appreciate them.
Yeah. Yeah, but one of the things that it teaches you is how to not just how to multitask, but how to think in parallel lines. You have to do this, and this, all of it going together, going forward at the same time. You know?
Hmm. Hmm.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
We started noticing, Stephanie, that I could recognize a nurse without anybody telling me that that person is a nurse. 9 out of 10 times I'm correct. But you don't start looking to see who in this room is a nurse. It just happens that you know, you recognize. And I couldn't put my finger on what exactly is it that I recognize that makes me know that this person is a kindred spirit. I'm not sure what it is. So I started asking the question of other nurses. If you could give me one word that describes to you the most essential quality of a nurse, what would that word be?
Ooh, one word.
Take two.
Um, there's so many words, but like when I see a nurse and I could tell they are, it's something about that anal caring that I see. Where everything they are so particular, but I see them calculating in their mind everything like, oh no, she needs to do this, and that, and then flip. And I mean, it's like you
Yeah.
care so much that you see all the details right there.
Yeah.
So you're like
Mhm.
anal retentive about it, about no, this, and you're just strong and confident about that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I see it. That's a good way to describe it, actually. That's a good way to describe it, because you walk in and you just see the whole picture at once. And not only do you see the picture, as soon as the picture registers, the solution comes.
Exactly. That's why I say we good problem solvers. Be the
Yeah,
solution.
yeah. We're talking a lot these days about self-care. What does it mean to you?
Self-care means that the same care I give to other people, I need to give to myself and make me a priority in that as well. Because back when I was in nurse school, they were still telling us, no, you leave your problems at the door and then you pick them up when you clock out. Okay, that's not necessarily self-care. That's just getting through the shift.
Yeah, yeah.
But the self-care is where I have to, if I'm having a bad day, I might be there, but I'm gonna let my charge nurse know, like, I think I need to go to the restroom and have a good fry real fast because this, and this happened. I've gotten calls that family members have died while I was at work. I need to go outside and just walk right now. Just,
Hmm. Yeah.
let me prioritize me for a minute. That's what self-care means, that you can't forget about you while you're taking care of others, or else you have nothing to give them. And I think that's where a lot of some of our disgruntled, angry nurses, where it's coming from, is that you just haven't taken time out for you. And that's something that I'm really big on helping people do, is let's find
Yeah.
some time to just sit. It could be, at the grocery store in the parking lot. Don't go in the store right away. Just sit there for a
Hmm.
minute. Turn the radio off.
Hmm. Hmm.
Breathe. Then
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I ask that because, as you said, we don't take care of ourselves. We somehow, our natural instinct. It may be biased, but I think it's a female thing, that we take care of others first. And then on top of that, you put the nurse thing. And the
Hmm.
nurse thing tells you, actually educates you, that you take care of everybody else. It's ingrained. You take care of everybody else. And somehow you don't matter. No one puts you in that equation. And now we have to intentionally put ourselves in the equation somewhere. First, in between, wherever. But you've got to put yourself in the equation, because some of that thing that you see, that bullying that you see, is a lack of self-care. That
Yeah.
burnout that we're talking about is a lack of self-care. We didn't
Mhm.
even see it coming because we weren't paying attention to who we are, how we feel, what we do, the angst that we feel when we get to work or not to work or leave work, or how we can't separate the work from the home life, or all of that.
Right.
And I think
Right.
all of that's coming out of a lack of self-care.
Yeah, it definitely is. Because, like, even if everything's going well in your life, you might have had a patient that died. I've had a few of those.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we don't always get the day off to process that. But you need to stop and process how that makes you feel. If you grieve, grieve. I've been on the phone. I'm like, my baby died today. It's just,
Yeah,
let it
yeah.
out.
You have to, you have to, you have to, you have to. And I tell people, when we talk about self-care, for me, I tell people, it doesn't have to be a big thing.
Right.
It doesn't have to be it just has to be a thing that soothes your soul.
Right.
And it can be something as simple as clean sheets on your bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, it
Yeah.
can be something as simple as that. You can go home and just say, I just need to slide into a clean,
Yeah.
take an actual slide into a clean, and that could be nurturing.
Hmm.
Or it could be a big thing as a vacation. But you do have to identify what you need, and what you need on any given day is not the same thing that needed yesterday.
Exactly. 'Cause some days I want to go out and party. Other days, most days, I want to be to myself and just sit outside on the porch on a warm day and just relax
Hmm. Hmm.
and not talk.
Exactly.
I don't have to talk to anybody. And I'm happy.
Yeah. 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 Your own company sometimes is best company.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. So Stephanie, is there any little gem you'd like to leave us with before you go?
I just, I don't know, I've been in an encouragement mood lately, but I just want to just say, I see you all doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love what I see in nursing right now, as far as everyone branching out and doing different things. And even if those things are similar and the same, still embracing each other,
Mhm.
still loving on each other. And I'm like, that's what we need to keep going in that direction. Keep that going, keep building that up, because what everyone's complaining about with this nursing shortage, I'm like, a lot of that can be alleviated because we're feeding into each other and we're encouraging each other and lifting each other up. And we don't care about what nobody's saying right now. So I would just say to everyone, just keep hustling, keep pushing, and take that time out for yourself, because I know it gets hard and
Yes,
every
Lord.
day is not nice and rosy. And if you need to have a good cry, cry. If you need to pick up a part-time job while you